If you are switching mid-year to Talexio, you will need to upload your employee's FS3 data for the current year from your company. Uploading FS3 data for each employee's earnings from your current company is a vital step in the onboarding process. It is required to make sure that tax deducted in the first payroll issued from Talexio is correct. When the FS3 data of the employee is uploaded, this will be taken into consideration with the employee's next payslip in relation to tax already paid, SSC contributions, and so on, and ultimately at the end of the year, it will reflect in the employee's FS3 and the company's FS7. What is the difference between previous employer FS3 data and current employer FS3 data? In the case when an employee has moved to your company from another company mid-year, you will need to add this data on Talexio in order for the tax calculation to adjust. Tax is calculated on the basis of income earned so far and tax paid so far. Not providing the tax and income data from the previous employer may result in tax not being paid correctly by the end of the year and the employee receiving a tax bill. You can input this data at any point throughout the year from the Employee Details page, scroll down to the Payroll section, and click the button Add FS3 Data under the header Income from Other Employers, FS3s. On the other hand, if you are migrating the whole company's data to Talexio, you will need to look at the section called Income from this company prior to use of Talexio. It is important that this step is done prior to creating your first payroll on Talexio. If you have already created your first payroll, you may be required to refresh the payslips for the system to recalculate the correct tax amounts. To bulk upload current employer FS3 data for all your employees, simply download the template from the onboarding assistant and fill out all the details for each employee. In the template, you will need to fill in the first 3 tabs. All the data required for these templates can be found on the employee's current FS3. You can copy the data over from an exported FS3 into the relevant template fields. Let us look at the details needed in the Employee Data tab. The period from and period to refer to the date range covered in this data upload. For example, if you are adding past data for January to March, the period from and period to would be 1st of January and 31st of March. The first payroll on Talexio would then be created for April. Employee code refers to the employee code as listed on Talexio. Gross emoluments includes the following income: basic amount plus special rate amount plus leave amount plus overtime amount plus pre-tax adjustments excluding fringe benefits plus leave payoffs plus income in excess of 10,000 euros with this company, as mentioned in gross PT emoluments. Gross PT emoluments refers to any part-time income specifically for employees who pay 10% tax rate. The gross is capped at 10,000 euros per employee. Any gross excess is added to gross emoluments. Gross OT emoluments is income classified under the overtime tax of 15%. Any income relating to overtime which is taxed under standard tax rates should be listed under gross emoluments. This field refers to income classified as director fees. This field refers to income coming from share options. Tax paid refers to tax paid on gross emoluments, fringe benefits, plus part-time tax excess of income as mentioned in PT tax paid. PT tax paid refers to tax paid on gross PT emoluments at the part-time 10% tax rate, of which the income is capped at 10,000 euros. SO tax paid refers to tax paid on share options. OT tax paid refers to tax paid on gross OT emoluments, that is overtime that is classified under the overtime tax of 15%. This field is the number of overtime hours relating to the overtime classified under the overtime tax of 15%. This field refers to any additional hours worked by part-timers over and above their fixed job schedule hours. Unpaid leave hours refer to any unpaid leave hours booked within the period covering the upload. Unpaid leave negatively impacts leave entitlement. VOPS amount refers to income coming from the pension scheme. ER pension refers to income coming from the pension scheme. You can also add any tax arrears to be factored in. Let us now look at the details needed in the Benefit Data tab. In the Category field, you will identify fringe benefits earned for each employee as Category 1, Category 2, Category 3, or share options. Any adjustments or allowances received, which are not officially classified as fringe benefits, should be included as part of gross emoluments. You can add the total amount of the fringe benefit received within the period of data upload. For employees who receive a car cash allowance, which is 50% taxable, you will be required to add 2 rows per employee to split the taxable and the non-taxable portions, given that this fringe benefit is taxable up to €1,170. First, add a row with the total amount, including the taxable and non-taxable portions. Then add another row, including only the non-taxable portion. Let us now look at the details needed in the SSC Data tab. Weekly wage is listed on the Employee's FS3. An employee can have more than one weekly wage, especially in cases of salary changes or irregular schedules. In such cases, you can add more than one row per employee. This field is the number of weekly contributions. Since this is a count of SSC contributions already paid, only a number is needed. This number cannot be larger than 52. Here you will add the SSC bracket that the employee falls in, based on their weekly wage. Bracket B2 refers to the 10% option. C1 and D1 refer to employees who were born before 1961. This field refers to the amount of SSC paid by the employee, which is added as a euro amount. This field refers to the amount of SSC paid by the employer, which is added as a euro amount. This field refers to the amount of maternity leave fund paid by the employer, which is added as a euro amount. If any unpaid leave was taken, here you will add the date range of the leave taken within the data period. The last field is the number of weeks that the employee was without pay. When you have multiple business units on Talexio, you will need to upload this previous payroll information from the payroll module directly rather than in the Onboarding Assistant, where you will upload the information into the relevant business unit payroll. Once the data has been uploaded, you may view or edit this directly within the employee profiles. For more information, please visit our Help Center and search for Onboarding Assistant, Employee FS3 Data Upload File.